There he is.
Hello. I'm going on focus mode right now. All right, we're good. What's up, man?
How are you?
Doing good. God, how long has it been since we talked last?
It's been quite a while. It definitely, I feel like I talked to you maybe when I was at DraftKings. That was a long time ago.
I think so. I think this was back in like 2012 when we were working on Story app. Like I
I
remember,
definitely remember that. Yeah. And you were like, damn it, Snapchat ripped me off.
yeah, and I remember because I think I talked to you and it was almost the same day that Apple was doing their big yearly event, which must have been like iPhone 5. I don't even know when it
Yeah.
was. We've both been in this world for so long that I've been confronted with like really bad actors. And what it's actually done is it's become very clear what my values are and what my values are not. And
Yeah.
like very, very clear. So like I put that up on my site now and it's like, yo, this is where I plant my flag. These are where my lines are drawn. And like I'm on this side and if you're on that side, like
Are you
enjoy, but we are not
in
a good
terms
fit.
of building product and things that you're willing to do versus not?
No, I mean just like treating people, how you treat people,
Oh, right. Yeah.
integrity, confidentiality, like because and I think as I've thought about it more, and I talked to an old colleague yesterday about this, I think it comes from a background in human capital consulting that I had. And it was a one of the largest like HR consulting firms. So like people, I mean, I cut my teeth in the place where like people are valued as like without people, you don't exist. The company doesn't exist. You fail.
Right.
So I just see all these things today now too, which is like this pump and dump, like let's hire 10,000 people and then lay them off 3 months later. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, you
I
guys are,
was also too young to know any better, and I was still so new to tech that I didn't really have any ideas on, what was going on. And,
hmm
you just don't really know, right? Even if you are slightly on the older side. I mean, I think I was like 29 or 30
yeah,
at the time, but still,
yeah,
that's still young. Like,
yeah.
you hadn't been in the tech game long enough,
hmm
considered young, you don't really know and you don't really understand vesting schedules and all that sort of stuff. And
hmm
people definitely will take advantage of you.
Yeah,
Make no mistake.
yeah. And it's not okay. Like I'm here planting the other flag, which is like, hey guys, this isn't okay. Like we live in a new world now. Like
Yeah.
you will get turned up on social.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's
I
brand.
was scared. I was scared to say anything though. I was
Yeah,
scared. Like I can remember it had blown up and I had reporters contacting me. They were like, You used to work there. What's going on with this company?" They
yeah,
had something going on with Twitter and some sort of inside something going on. And so reporters called me and I couldn't say anything because I had
yeah.
signed an agreement, and they're like, it's off the record. And I was like, I'm just a kid. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, man.
So
So I
it's that
mean,
was, anyways, that was a while ago. So
yeah, and then I mean, look, I think it impacts us subconsciously too. And like here you are now, and you're like, you know what? I'm kind of out of this game, this whole startup thing, and what now? I mean, you just told me like you're in real estate, like doing the family thing. Like, I want to, like, that's my, like, what has that been like, that transition?
it's been wild. To say the least. Obviously it was in tech for quite a while. About it was all in all about 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing the startup thing for a while, and most recently, I was a product manager for uh, property operations software in the vacation rental industry called
Mm,
Breezeway,
mm,
and I was running their operations product. And
got it.
so it's all about how to, you know, get vacation rentals clean, right? And turning things over
Yeah.
and task management. I have never been in real estate, but through building product for that type of market, I was starting to learn sort of, okay, these rules can be applied to a long-term rental, which is my family business. And so
hmm
I was using my skills in tech and knowing that it would eventually translate over. I just didn't realize that I'd be moving to the family business this quickly. Uh, my mom was basically just like, okay, I think I'm done. And we had no one to steer the helm. And so I was just like, I guess I'll do it. I'll see how it goes. So I spent a couple months just coming into the office, just not even really fully committing, just seeing what it's like.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's like a startup in the sense that it's a business that's been around for 40 years or so, 50 years, 40
Wow.
years. Building is 40 years old, but my grandfather started the real estate business maybe 50 years ago.
Wow. So three generations then. This you're the third.
I'm third generation, yes.
Nice.
And where am I going with this? And he ends up passing it on to my mom, and my mom is passing it on to myself, my brother, and my sister. And so we just need someone to sort of take over. And we don't have any software. Everything is sticky notes, pen and paper. There's not, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And I start freaking out. 'Cause I just have stayed away from it. And
Yeah.
as as a PM, and you have to have your super buttoned up,
Yeah.
and this is how this feature is going to work, right?
Yeah.
And you have to convey that, and then to come in and everything is just shooting from the hip. It's like it was night and day. And so as many heart attacks, but I'm starting to get there. I've implemented software, and so that's where we're at right now.
Well, congratulations on digital transformation.
Thank you.
I mean, it's interesting. It's like small and medium-sized businesses. I mean, it like drives our economy, and it's like the last bastion of tech. So, like, what was the first thing you did? Did you go straight to the CRM and start entering data? Or was it like, did you at least have like a QuickBooks accounting system, or was that like paper ledger that you were going
We do have paper ledger, and we do have QuickBooks, but the QuickBooks was about 7 months out of date.
to? Mm,
No one was keeping up with it. And so we did have a paper ledger that I reviewed and was like, there's no transparency here. I don't know how to use this system. It was only the person that created it, who is my aunt, who's, you know, you know, needs to understand software a little bit more. So,
yeah,
um, yeah. So, we do have QuickBooks, but the question was the first thing that I did.
yeah,
Yeah. So I started interviewing software property management companies.
got it.
And I knew of a couple just from working at Breezeway. I knew the long-term rental players. And so I just wasn't sure of the capabilities of the software. And they're more on the accounting side, not so much the operations side. And that's really what we need. So I had to, you know, interview a bunch of salespeople and, go through that whole process. And it was very interesting to be on the other side of things.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I loved it. I loved the grilling them, and like I knew to like, wait till the end of the quarter and like, you
Get the
know,
discount. Yeah, we're
yeah,
using all the tricks of the trade through
exactly.
vendor selection process. Yeah,
Right.
that's good.
So
That's good. Well, how many months in are you in your new life?
3 months.
Oh wow, so it's fresh.
It's very fresh. Yeah, I'm still in the onboarding phase of the new software. I just got most of the accounting up to speed. I just launched the tenant portal 2 days ago. So we
Wow,
have people paying online today. Today's September 1st. Today's the
that's good.
first time we've had online payments.
That's good first 90 days. You got new like scalable payment system.
It's huge. It's huge for us. And it's amazing. I've been learning bookkeeping as I'm going because I didn't really know, I took an accounting class, in grad school a while ago,
Yeah,
but I don't remember any of that.
right.
So I'm reteaching myself all of this bookkeeping, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I'm like, okay, so something comes in, you log it, and it's like, wow, we should have had this so many years ago.
You know what it reminded me when you said your aunt was doing the books? I remember, have you seen the show Marvelous Mrs. Maisel on Amazon?
No.
Oh my God. It's actually really good. It's like one of my favorite shows. It's hilarious. The lead actress is phenomenal in it. But anyways, her husband in the show, his father and mother own like a wardrobe company, like they make dresses and all this sort of thing, but the mom kept the books. And so the son came into the business to like take it over, and he looked at the books and it was just like horror, and he's like, I
Yeah,
can't understand any of this. And
yeah,
she had this like crazy encoding concept with like sticky tape and bubble gum, and then like reference this thing over here, and literally nobody could make heads or tails of it except for
right.
her. But for her it was like, what? It's perfect. It was like the
Yeah.
perfect system.
I like to call
So
that tribal knowledge
hmm
and all of that and the single point of failures. And as I was evaluating everything, they're all over the place. And I keep running into these dead bodies and I keep uncovering them. And I'm like, I need to figure this out. And so as I'm going along, it's like a startup. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, it's like a startup that I get to it's stable,
yeah,
so stable considering it was so rocky. I know it was so rocky. We had a lot of vacancies with the pandemic
right.
and the foundation is here. Just the operational processes need to be improved. It just really tightened up.
Yeah,
But I'm really loving I think you'll appreciate this, the sort of dollars from the bottom up rather than the top down.
yeah.
Uh, it's just,
Like a
and
real
it's a
product that real
real
customers
business.
purchase. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
Not
that's
hope.
something. It's like not like smoke and mirrors. It's
Yeah.
just okay. You give me money, I give you this space, and you can live here, and like that's it. And like
It's
it,
weird, right? Isn't it a weird
it's
feeling? You're
it's so
bizarre.
weird,
You're like, someone's paying money for this. This is bizarre.
right? Right. I will say a tough adjustment for me has been dealing with people.
Mm,
And that's just hard, right? Dealing with people is really hard. And for a lot of these folks, this is their home.
mm,
Uh, and a lot of them have been, severely under market rate and they see $100 increase in their, you know, they're like bulls in china shops and
yeah.
they're just throwing their hands in the air and it's tough and I'm learning that side of things and dealing with consumers face to face versus I could sort of hide behind a screen more or less and
Right.
now I mean I'm hiding in the back office but uh,
We won't give away your address so they can find you.
yeah, oh no,
That's
I live here too, so
oh, there you go. Hey, you're dog fooding your own product. That's great.
I moved in on day one and I did that just to see what it would feel like to live here, to
Right.
see what it would be like after hours in the hallways, doing laundry. I really wanted to kind of see,
Yeah.
what the tenant experience was like.
Good for you, man. Like how many people just don't care, you know? And
Yeah.
like just I mean that would be great if I had you as a landlord, and I mean heck, maybe I'll just come move in at some point. And
Come on over, Watertown,
where's the property located?
Watertown, Mass.
Okay. I love
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, East
Yeah.
Coast,
Why
close to
not?
Boston. Yeah, man. How many units?
We're 115.
Got it. And this is like apartments, like a year to year lease kind of thing, or
Yep.
got
Yep.
it.
I've teased the idea of like maybe taking a couple units and doing some corporate housing or maybe even an Airbnb, obviously with my vacation rental background. But the deeper I got into the business, the more I realized it was just in dire need of just professionalizing and stabilizing
What
what
you have already.
what it already
Yeah,
is. And
right.
so that's really I'm treating it like I'm treating product. I
Yeah.
have a roadmap. I'm like, here's the things that I'm doing this year. Because I don't know how else to do it.
Right.
That's the way.
It's been
So
ingrained in you. Yeah, it's hard to give it up
it
after a
really
while.
is. Yeah.
Except
So
do you have the whole team on Slack now, or do you have to send like handwritten letters, or what's the
I'm doing
communication?
handwritten stuff, sticky notes still. Tried to get Slack's not working yet. That's been slightly hard to adopt. I've got my maintenance guy. I'm getting him on the software next week. Well, for the meantime, what I'm doing is I'm just taking the maintenance requests that I pick up on the phone. I
Yeah.
log them in the system, I print them out, and then I give it to him.
Oh yeah, you're just getting it in there to get the
I'm just
cadence
getting it in
going.
there, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
exactly. And
Mm,
then I'm like, cool, did you do this thing? And he's like, yeah. And then I mark it as complete in the system. And like,
yeah,
that's step one.
yeah.
Then
Change
he'll
is
log in.
hard.
It's really hard. And he's been here for 29 years.
That's gonna be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah. He's
Who are
filling out.
you whippersnapper, wet behind the ears, like
Right.
telling
Well, I mean,
me,
he knew my grandfather, and he lives
wow,
in the building too. So, it's really a family run operation. And, there's we have that sort of loyalty. We have what we like to call our lifers here.
yeah,
They really are lifers.
they've lived in the building like for
We
20
have
years.
yeah, we have tenants that have been here for over 20 years.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no wonder they're like fighting inflation because 20 years to 20 from 2000 to 2022 and then the recent run up, like, yeah, I get
Right.
it
Well,
on the
my
business owner side.
and they haven't been raising rent, so it's like your rent is artificially very low. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
So we're
down
working
down
through
the
that
block.
now, but we're trying to help people too. So
That's good. That's good.
how are
Well, what
you?
else? Oh man, I don't know anymore. I mean, I said the other day, it just kind of came out. It was like trying to make a dent on the internet, but I've been doing that like, I don't know, since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where I just can't, it's sort of built into me. It's like my hobby, my entertainment, my job kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I always just like tinkering around on the internet. And I think I've just gotten to this place where it's like, how do you create art using the internet? Not art on the internet, but operate between all these different things that we've played with over the years and like product management and being in software, being on the internet, and use that to create some type of weird, different experience that's more artistic that people have never seen before. So I've been toying with some ideas and just playing around with some stuff on like distribution. Like this podcast is totally it's just totally an experiment. I was just messing around and it was really like, okay, what's the thing that I can choose that I know I'll just keep doing? And then I wanted to use it as a way to reconnect with people that I like yourself. I mean, we haven't talked in so long, and it's like this is a perfect opportunity to be like, let's take 30 minutes, an hour, let's chat. We'll throw it out
Right.
there. If we've got some stuff we want to talk about, help the world. And hell, if you got a vacancy, like we'll send some people your way.
Right.
Um, yeah, so by the way, I was gonna ask you, what product did you end up choosing for the software that you
It's called
chose?
Appfolio.
Okay. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I ended up, this is kind of weird, but I ended up doing a M&A due diligence on one of these property management software things in the last month. So it's actually kind of fresh in my head, which
Would
is
you look at?
well, I can't talk about it because it's under NDA.
Okay.
But it's cool. I mean, the company had been around for a while and some really intense software, and it's like every one of these industries, like these super niche industries, have like this whole niche industry around the software too, and just
Yeah.
so custom built. So yeah, it's so cool. I mean, the internet's so big. It's like 5 billion people now and so many companies, and like everyone's got a startup and everyone's got a VC firm now that it's like you can't keep up with it. Like there's just no way. You have no idea what's out there.
Yeah. When I was, obviously through being in the industry, I was able to cut down on my list of vendors that I knew of. But even when I was interviewing them, because I'm not a property manager, I could look at it from a product lens,
Hmm.
but that's not a property management lens, right? And so
Hmm.
I think that it was a little bit harder for me. I wanted to get in and use it, and
Yeah.
as I'm using it, I was like, okay, is this like I was like, does this load asynchronously and like things like that. I was like getting really technical, and I was like, but
Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, do property managers really care about that? And so
Hmm.
I think I've, struggled a little bit in that regard, trying to figure that out. But um, we ended up, they were a accounting. they started out in accounting. That was sort of their core competency, and that was really attractive to me, that their
Yeah.
accounting side was built around property management,
Right.
and recurring payments and that sort of stuff, and that's really what we needed. And then having the online portal was huge. So
Mm.
there was a couple other players in there, and I'm sure that they all have their own bells and whistles. We went with this one.
Yeah.
you know
Good so
so
far. Good
so
so far.
far,
Yeah.
yeah, the next step will be online leases. And
Hmm.
right now we're still doing paper leases.
Yeah. Just like, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, not just sign it online, but scroll through the whole thing and like purely digitize like
People expect
document.
it. People expect to be able to pay online. We've had
Mhm.
tenants come here that are like, "Wait, you don't have online payments? I
What's
don't
a
have
check?
I don't have a checkbook." We've had
Yeah.
people who had to go get checkbooks. They
Yeah.
don't even own checks.
Yeah.
So it's like crazy. Like, yeah, you
Gotta get a
gotta
check.
get a checkbook.
I mean, that's me though. Let's be honest. I like go to the bank maybe once a year. I'm like, hey, I need 3 checks.
Right.
It was really funny. I forget what it was. It was somewhere here in Tennessee. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I take checks." I'm like, "Wow, I mean that's just like so insecure. I could just write a fake piece of paper." And I was like, "Do you have Venmo?" And they're like, "No, we take checks." And I was like, "I don't know what to do. Do you take a credit card?" And then like
Yeah.
I had to find some cash. And isn't that so funny? Like how things have changed over the last since we were
It
kids.
It's wild. People are afraid to use the technology too. And then when they do use it, they're just like, oh wow, this just makes my life so much even easy. Even here in the office, even people that are working here in the office. My aunt who's, doesn't want to use the new system, right? And now
Mm,
she's like dying for it because she sees us and how excited we are about it, how much automation it has around it.
yeah.
She is just like, okay, like, why are you all so happy? Like, tell me like what's going on. And we share where we're like, oh well, someone paid this thing online and then it automatically attributed to the payment, and and it just logged everything for us. And she's like, really? Because she was the one that created the paper process,
Right.
so
It's that's so fun to hear. I mean, that's the stuff that I love, where it's like you initially, I think it's like the block to change. I've done this so long that like, oh God, I'm gonna have to like learn this new thing and it's gonna be worse off. And then it's like magical on the other side. I
yeah,
mean, that's the white whale I've been chasing my career is like, how do you just create that magic where it's obvious before you experience it? Like
yeah,
that's so hard. And I think to your point, I used to call it method acting, but you have lived the life of your user now. And it's a completely different, like figuring out what matters is the only thing that matters. And you were like asynchronous, like architectural decisions doesn't matter. I just need timely payments that don't fail
yeah,
and and like a maintenance system that people are remember the URL
yeah.
for and can
Like,
log an issue.
anything is better than what we were doing, literally anything. And as someone that deeply cares about design too, right? That was my
Yeah,
first sort of
you were a
trade, right?
designer. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was me first before I had gotten a product. And I even that, I'm just like, I just need a system that just like works, an all-in-one solution.
Yeah.
Because and there, obviously my eye, and I'm sure you see it too, and in systems that you adopt. And um it's tedious, but if it works, at least at this point, I'm like, oh thank God it just works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
it's true. It's true. Just reliability is such a big deal. Like, just let me do my thing and get out of my way. And I think so often it's just, let's just keep adding more features and it's going to get better. And it's like, I've rarely seen the product team that removes features. Yeah,
yeah,
honestly,
that's
because it's like, oh, I don't want to give up that one MRR customer because we're backed by investors and we got to grow to the moon. And it
well,
just,
it's probably tangled with other parts of the product too, right?
mm,
And unwinding things is just
spaghetti.
it's just awful.
Yep. Well,
So
what do you think has been like the biggest or hardest transition? I mean, let's see, you've done design, product, property, SMB, high growth
I
VC
think
backed startups.
yeah, it's the hardest transition. I thought I thought the jump to design to product was a lot more challenging than I was anticipating.
Really?
It could be because I was doing everything. So at Breezeway was the last company that I was at.
Uh-huh.
Their designers and product, it was all one person. So I had a
Mm,
scrum team, and it could have been too the scope of work that I had as well, which was the entire operations product.
mm,
And then, the team was the engineering scrum team was slightly understaffed. So it was a really tough position for me.
mm,
So that was a pretty big jump. So I don't know if it was the actual role or not. Um, it's interesting going from that to this though. I just have such a better grasp on how to attack problems now.
hmm.
It's I see a problem and it's just like,
Because
okay,
of product? Because of
because of
interesting.
product, being in product and having such really, really, really difficult problems to solve.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I mean, I just learned bookkeeping. If you told me 2, 3 years ago that I was going to learn bookkeeping and accounting, I would have told you you're crazy. But I'm like learning a whole new system. It took me about 3 weeks, and I'm not very good, but I can do it. I understand the
Mhm.
basics of it.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I would have had that sort of um confidence, right? If
Yeah.
I hadn't had a previous position that pushed me to the ultimate. So I think the product management going to product was pretty tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've joked about this, but I was like, what's the definition of product management? Because nobody can tell you, and it's always different from everybody. And I'm like, I'll make it easy on you. The definition is everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Like, because that's the expectation, that's the requirements, like do everything. And then what it really is like you're a founder.
Yeah.
You're base, and so I think maybe that's why is you jumped from being like a designer to like a mini founder, and then
Yeah.
now when you are operating in like a founder role, it's
Mhm.
like, oh well, yeah, I mean this isn't.
It feels the same. And now
Yeah.
it's just like, now I really do feel like I have the autonomy to make the decisions that I want to, right? And to
Mhm.
do things the way that I want. And I know how to do it, or at least I know how to troubleshoot through
Right.
things and work with the team. It's like I've got my resources, I've got my timelines, all right, let's go. It feels so
Yeah.
similar. It really does. Just a different industry. So I
Yeah.
totally agree. It feels like I'm like a you know, not a founder, but I'm in that operator type role.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got runway. You basically walked into runway, but you're like operator. I mean,
Yeah.
what's the transition period like? Is it like a year? Was your mom the primary operator?
No, no. So my cousins here are the operators. My mom's
Got it.
been more of like an owner role. And
Got
so
it.
now I'm sort of taking a hybrid approach to
Dual.
that.
Yeah.
I'm like owner operator. So my plan is to professionalize and stabilize for
Yeah.
like 1 year. We were just basically in kind of like chaos triage mode, essentially. And just
You,
like, what do we do? Right. And then it was like, get all the units rented. Let's get software. All right. Now I got to like tighten things up for the next year. And then I've got to get rent roll. That's going to take me like a year or two. And then after that, I'm looking to grow.
do you
So
know
then,
what?
go ahead.
Do you know what's interesting? I don't know if you've realized this, and I'm gonna say it, and you tell me. Um, you you've basically become private equity. What you just described, you've moved from venture capital to private equity. And the process you just described is the exact process of private equity. The only difference is you didn't quote like raise a bunch of money and then use that money to do a buyout.
Yeah.
essentially you skipped that because it was your family and you just sort of like walked in. So you skipped the financing piece of it more or less. I mean, we won't get into it, but yeah. And then you looked at it and you were like, okay, we got to do like to optimize,
Yeah.
and then we're going to grow.
It's
And then,
exactly what it is.
yeah, it's private equity. And then you don't have an exit path, or you're not looking for an exit or whatever.
No, but that's exactly what I'm doing. You're
Yeah.
100% right. And trying to wrap my head around things and seeing what needs to be tightened up and what we're doing well. And I'm evaluating everything, all the angles of the entire business.
Yeah.
And then as I'm doing that, I'm also thinking about the future and where it is that we're going, and the growth, or a potential sale. Like I'm not exactly sure,
Yeah.
but well either way, nothing can be sort of explored until we understand like what it is that we actually have right here.
Right.
And I don't
Yeah.
even know what it is. I'm still trying
Interesting.
to figure that out. Um, and I think the future is going to be growth. And that's really
Yeah.
what I'm excited about and why I made this jump. Like, yeah, the property management stuff is okay, but like I'm really excited about leveraging the asset, maybe like buying another
Hmm.
building and doing what we do well, which is owning property and being a property manager at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
Not being a property manager, that's different.
Yeah. Right.
Property
The
managers
service.
sometimes have to deal with owners, right? We don't have to do that here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's a challenge for today's property managers, right? But if you're in this position, it's slightly different. So I'm hoping to do that, but we'll see.
It's really interesting. I agree with you. I mean, the fact that what you're trying to do is really get a handle on like the valuation of your asset and like where are the levers that you can pull on. But I think it's really smart. I mean, there's only so much planet Earth to go around, and everybody needs, I mean, it's oxygen, water, food, shelter. And so it's not going anywhere. Sure, price volatility, but yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I kind of stayed away from the whole world for a long time, but we ended up buying our first house a couple years ago, like right when COVID hit, and ended up doing like full renovation, which has been like running a startup while running startups, multiple startups, which has been like like stick your finger in the light socket and fry yourself
Yeah,
for a couple years, and that's what it feels like.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's super interesting because, for example, the banks as well, like they look at that type of asset versus, let's say, a stock or a business, which can be more volatile, go up and down. Businesses can go bankrupt, but I don't know if you know that own the land, you don't have to talk about it, but it's like I see you being this like vertically integrated real estate private equity owner operator. And
Hmm.
I think that that
Yeah.
gives you it gives you a ton of really interesting leeway. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if you get to a point where you start creating your own very simple product, like software product to help you run your thing. And you basically, because you could write the spec, you could
Yeah.
design a couple wires, and then you could just like throw it over to a simple team to just build it out. And then you're using your own product and you're getting rid of all the garbage that you don't want to manage all of this stuff. And then like you would end up running both the real estate side and the software side. So you have exposure to both internet growth and that recurring revenue stream. And I think this is me. I think the business model of the future is this bootstrap business model where you have two things. You've got the cash generation engine, and then
Yes.
you've got the capital allocation flywheel, right? And they feed each other. And that's what you do with the excess cash, right? And then so you just start building your fortress, so to speak. So yeah, I think you're gonna have a blast, dude. I think the next like 20 years are gonna be kind of fun, not without its challenges or gray hairs, but
Right.
yeah, to folks
That
like you and me, it's like our video game, right?
it is. It really is. I come in, I'm like, oh, let's see what I can do today. Like, my on the Appfolio, I was able to get 35% of people, 35% adoption to the
Hmm.
tenant portal within the first day.
Of your
There's like,
tenants or your
yeah,
team?
of my current tenants.
Oh wow, out of 150, you got
At
35%
115, yeah, 35%. So it was
that
like
are
huge. And now I just told everyone, I was like, if we get this up to 75%, we have this like Italian restaurant that
pizza
every,
party.
I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I was like, we'll go to
Book,
Fiorella.
book
Everyone
it,
gets a
pizza party.
chicken parm,
Yeah,
pizza
chicken
party.
farm on the house. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, you're doing products. You're trying to move the
Yeah,
metric, man.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's literally, I'm running it like a product manager, 1000%.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I think it's gonna you were like, oh, it's like a year and a half. Like you might be 9 months in and be like, oh, Jesus, okay, what do I do now? Because the
That's
speed,
what I'm afraid of. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a real fear that I have that is this enough for me? Uh, and it's like, am I going to end up going back to product? Like, it's possible. It's
Like
possible.
you take a part-time gig just to like get rid of the
Yeah,
nervous
I've thought
energy.
about that, Sean. I
Yeah.
kid you not, I've thought about that. I've thought about maybe advising or maybe taking up a small like contracting PM. I feel like that would be really hard. Maybe I could contract as a designer, but I don't really want to do that. I'm kind of
Yeah.
tired of the design world.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I had this and it's like I oversee everything here and then, do some advising or maybe build my own thing on the
Yeah.
side. There's another world here for sure because I'm not going to be the only operator here. I
Yeah.
just need to make sure that things are, we've got our roadmap, we've got,
Mm.
things are moving in a certain direction and I'm overseeing it, but I'm not going to be a daily operator forever.
Yeah.
So that's the plan, honestly. I just don't know what the next thing is.
I think you'll get to the point. It's basically, I mean, you might just have to take like a week vacation and then just let all of the stuff, like the sediment in the water settle, and then have that quiet place and just see what that inner pull, that inner voice like takes you to. Because that's why I say, I mean, you're a creator, right? Like you're a builder. I think, and you've got the skill, right? You've got the design, you've got the product, you can do the business side. I think you should just let that creativity just sort of see where it takes you on your own. If you've got that extra cycle time to just
Yeah,
play, I mean, just throw open Figma and like mess around with a couple wires or something, right? And I
right.
bet you'll end up with something kind of rad. Like, what's property management software in the metaverse look like? Like, let's go
Oh, all
3D,
right.
baby. See, there you
Nice.
go.
I like it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yep. That's cool. I like it. So what's on the docket this weekend? You got anything fun going on? What's the life side like instead of the work side? How's that all going?
Oh, life. I mean, I'm dating this girl, Rosie. Her and I were actually we talked about vacation. We are headed to Spain September 15th.
Nice. Where
Yes.
where in Spain are you going?
Going to Madrid for 3 nights. Then we're taking a train down to Granada, southern Spain, spending
Oh,
2 nights there, and then a train to Sevilla, 2 nights there, and then back up to Madrid for another 2 nights.
I
So we're
love
doing
that.
like the nice little loop, and then back home to Boston.
I love that. The trains throughout Europe is like such a romantic proposition. I'm so about that versus like the
Yeah.
subway in America. You know,
Yeah.
it's like just the brake dust versus like the countryside in southern
Have
Spain.
you, Sean, have you ever been to Boston? And have you ever been on the T if you have been to Boston?
I haven't been on the T, but I have been to Boston.
Okay.
So my partner Mia, she was going to Harvard for a little bit. And we ended up doing a campus visit, and it was actually one of the most, okay, I'll tell you a little personal story. It was one of the most incredible art experiences I've ever had. So this picture, this one right here, it's a
Yep.
it's a print. It's not a real Jackson Pollock. I don't have that kind of money floating around. But inside the Harvard Art Museums, I didn't know what to expect. I'm just like, oh, just some random like little tiny like what I just don't realize these things. It's like Harvard. It's like some community college, you know what I mean? And they happen to have like this little room full of like art from the kids or something. I don't know why I think this, but this is my mindset walking into this place. and it's like free with their student ID. And then I guess they have three different museums, which is why they call it art museums, not museum. So we walk in, and I walk into this room, and I'm like kind of, like not paying attention, and then I'm like struck. It like hits me in the face. I'm surrounded by masters. Like here's a self-portrait of Van Gogh. Like here's a Monet over here, and then here's like
Yeah.
this incredible Jackson Pollock, and then here's a Rodin, and I'm just like, and I was never, I don't know, I guess I know a little bit, but I've never been like this huge art aficionado. But for some reason, you just kind of soak it up over the years. And for some reason, there was this really long Jackson Pollock painting, and everything clicked. Like I stood in front of it for like 30 minutes, and I was just like, oh my God. Like I get it. I get it. All this stuff.
Yeah, what was it? What help me understand?
It, I saw the craftsmanship. I
Okay,
saw from a creator perspective, from an artist
right.
perspective, I saw, when you hear about these artists, like musicians, artists, painters, actors, whatever,
Yeah.
they aren't creating their thing. They're like a channel or a vessel upon which the universe uses them as the paintbrush, so to speak.
Mhm.
And I could see that channeling come through his paint drip technique because he had layered it with different colors at different like velocities, but also depth, and then spacing within the canvas. And it was like imperfectly perfect. And I realized if I tried to do it, it just looked like I dumped out garbage onto a piece of canvas.
Right. So you were able to appreciate and figure out what this person had done based
Yes.
on your background.
And as another step further, so I was deep in this world of studying connectomics, which the connectome is the brain and nervous system of all animals, humans, everything down to like a 300 neuron worm. And I was struck because I was like, my God, this is like connectome on canvas. This is the universe. This is dark energy. This is a fractal. This is everything that he just put on a canvas. And I've even contacted the museum afterwards and like, can I get a print of this? Can I even get a high res photo? They are so locked down about the rights to that painting that the only thing you will find online is this tiny like 300 by 300 pixel resolution image. There is nothing out there, and I ended up getting a picture of it, so it's like on my Instagram and it's stored, and I look at it. And so like she got me this one as a present. um but yeah, for me it was just so, needless to say, like that's my like Boston story. So I have a really special place in my mind and my heart for that area of the United States. That's my
That's
story.
great.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah. Well, if you want to come back and check out more art, you're going to have to reach out.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I want to do a little road show like later this year and hit up the East Coast. I got to go to New York, see some friends, DC.
Yeah.
Need to hit up Boston. Yeah, definitely sit down, grab some grub and coffee or something, and talk shop or just do jump high fives or something.
What's next for you, Sean?
I don't know. I'm helping a couple people do their thing, which is really rad. I enjoy it.
Mhm.
It's good people. I love who they are. I'm kind of just doing this exploratory phase with the extra time I have, like this podcast. I mean, it's wild. Like you said, you can't turn off the product brain. So in 3 weeks, I think the number of unique IP addresses hitting this podcast RSS feed went from 0 to 4,000. So the growth rate is like insane every day and every week. So it's like, okay, just keep investing in growth.
Yeah.
And
See where it
like
goes.
it's resonating, so something is going, and I enjoy doing it. So it's like, okay, let's keep doing it. But
Yeah. And we
I,
get to catch up with old faces at the same time.
exactly, it's like win 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 for me all the way around. So yeah, I think I'll probably keep doing that. And I just like building stuff on the internet. I like building technology that helps people. So I know I'm going to just continue to do that. And I like hanging out with good folks to build stuff. So here's my ultimate dream, right? like all the people in my network, I somehow find a way to get them all together to create the ultimate Transformer Voltron product. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
product of products. And then we release it onto the world, and it's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where one song changes the world, you know?
yeah,
Um,
that'd be excellent.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Pun intended. Excellent.
Yeah, it'd be far out, dude. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. So something along those lines. I don't know. I think it's have fun, do good work, and
Yeah,
work with people you like, and good things happen.
I think yeah, that makes sense. We'll see if I miss it. I think I'm headed in the right direction. I like not working for VCs.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
not
It's
easy.
definitely different. Yeah, it's definitely different. Um, I like being my own boss, so that's nice.
I had this one thing. We were growing, I don't know, we were growing at like the 95th percentile, and the message from the board came down like, you need to grow 6x in 1 quarter. And I was like, you do realize that that's not possible, right? Like nothing grows at that rate. Like
Yeah,
6x in a single quarter at a completely different slope, like mostly
yeah,
like this, which is already 95th percentile. And then you want to go straight vertical. It's like, I mean, I get it. I want $1 billion in the bank and like go make my
yeah.
friend's movie, but I'm not doing that right now. So it's a
Right.
weird thing. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm happy with the small business thing though. I really am. It's good for at least right now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens though. I'm sure I'm gonna have the itch that like the creator stuff. That's what I sort of realized the other day is that all the tasks here, everything it's the same.
Mm,
It's just creating a process and tightening that thing up and
mhm.
that's it. I'm not creating anything though. Unless I get into growth mode, which is the most exciting thing for me.
Yeah.
If I end up getting into building, which would be really cool. I could get my contractor's license and go in that direction. But
Interesting. You're thinking like acquiring multifamily and then
yeah,
reno and then do
potentially.
more rental.
Sure, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
You need, you know, it would be fun. Not that you would ever make business decisions this way, but to put one of those like Wheel of Fortune things with different ideas and then just spin it, and then whatever it lands on and just see how that feels. Like, oh, now I got to
Sure.
go do that. Like, oh,
Why not?
actually, that does
I
feel
mean,
cool.
it's not a bad idea, honestly. I don't know how else I'm gonna pick. So it's either deep thought or Sean's Wheel of Fun.
Wheel of Fun and Fortune. Just
Right.
one legal disclaimer I have there is that past performance is no indication of future performance, and I hold no liability about what happens from your Wheel of Fun and Fortune.
Fair
But
enough.
I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help, man. Yeah. Just be my one advice is be very careful about the contractors, because we've
Oh
some
yeah,
very
that's right.
rough
You did say that. You're
situations.
right. Yeah. It's no joke. You gotta keep your eye on them big
Yeah.
time. Absolutely.
Hmm.
It's hard to find workers too. I'm surprised you were able to.
Oh, it was tough because pandemic, it was like one, hard to get people to come out. You've got to be really
Right.
safe. Two, supply chain shortage. You can't get anything. I mean, we ordered some new cabinets and it took 9 months for
Oh
them to
yeah.
show up. I mean, here's the reality. It was, yeah, it was 2 years without a kitchen because we had a bunch of issues. We had to replace every appliance, the water heater, the floor, the
Oh
walls,
God.
like the entire kitchen, take out a wall. We were doing dishes by hand in like a little tiny sink off to the side for 2 years.
Yeah.
We just got that done in like, I don't know, over the summer. And it's like, wow, okay, what's
Yeah,
a dishwasher?
lead time is crazy right now for cabinetry.
Hmm.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's
Especially
nuts.
if you got custom stuff too. And things are just expensive and help is hard to find.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm struggling with that right now.
yeah,
That's a hard reality I'm facing.
yeah.
Like fixing things and stuff. So
Yeah. Well, just my advice to you is don't live in it while you do it. That was tough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But you know, like you can do that. You could do anything. Like do a couple startups and a home reno at the same time. Boy, that'll stretch you. That's like David Goggins, man. Like I was sweating.
Yeah, it's funny. The startup things it's I feel like now I'm like catching my breath right now, and I feel
Yeah.
like I think I will be ready to do something again soon. Right now, I'm definitely just like catching my breath.
Sustainable. Yeah. It's smart. I think it's really smart because burnout will sneak up on you and it'll
Oh
crush
yeah.
you. It'll crush
Has
you.
that ever happened? Has it ever happened to you?
Oh, a couple times. I put myself in
Yeah.
the hospital when I was younger, a couple
Oh
times, and
wow.
then I've also experienced extreme level after the last couple years, like mood changes. I mean, you just can't help.
Yeah.
It's like everything's frustrating, you know? And so you
Yeah.
just, yeah, this I kind of reset the decks on my 41st birthday and over the summer and kind of started fresh from scratch on everything. And yeah,
Good for
like
you.
yeah, it's
That's where I
definitely
was.
needed.
That's where I was at my the last PM job, and I've been using this job to kind of just reset, kind of figure out what I want to do, and do all this, and it's been good. A mental shift is needed sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're like happier, you do better work, and it feels less hard, but you end up doing the same or better or faster quality work, which is weird.
Yeah.
It's like an inverse
So
relationship. Yeah.
yeah, it's so weird. I'm slightly stressed, but it's in a different way now. It's
Like
uh
the owner stress kind of thing.
yeah. It's stress in a different way. I can't
Like,
explain it.
like if I don't do it, it doesn't get done, or if I don't like push on it, it won't happen kind of thing. Is it that sort
Yeah,
of vibe?
yeah, something like that. Um, versus maybe before I had to have like, um, yeah, I just felt like I was doing a bazillion things at once as a PM, and it was just chaos. And then and then
Truth.
yeah, just
Truth.
proves your point. It proves your point. Every time you interview a former or a PM, everyone says the same thing.
Everything. Chaos. Yeah.
Chaos.
Yeah, your job is to
It's
keep.
like it's slightly like controlled now. I feel like I can see it, and I'm like, oh no, we're not going down there. We're not going down there. I'm like, I get everyone on Notion. I'm like, write your tasks down.
Hmm.
We're gonna lay it all out. There's no deadlines.
Yeah.
Like this is easy.
Yeah.
We're easy living here.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's
You
time matter. It isn't like an extreme sprint from the moment you wake up until the moment you go
right.
to bed. And yeah, like
Yeah, tenant screaming something. I see my staff getting upset or something. Don't worry about it. Deal
yeah,
with it next week.
good. Yeah, we're
It's
good.
fine. We're the building's still here.
Yeah.
They'll be fine. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like I never had that. And so now I'm just trying to create an environment that's like
Yeah.
super chill, really calm. It's like, no, when we do work, we do like fantastic work. It's like buttoned up,
Yeah.
it's precise, it's accurate, we're responsive, but we're chill.
Hmm.
When we do the things that we do, it's done well, but we do it on our own time.
Yeah.
It,
I
I
think
hope that
it's
makes sense.
yeah, I love that because it's that metaphor like lay every brick perfectly and then you don't have to go back and fix the wall at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's slow and steady wins the race and don't worry so much about like getting all the bricks out of the out of the truck and just throwing them on top of each other. It's
Right.
like fall
Right.
over if someone like breathes on it wrong.
Right. And I'm like, hey, it's chill. We're laying bricks here, one
Yeah.
by one.
We're laying bricks.
Exactly.
We're gonna go get
Yeah.
some pizza and some chicken parm.
Right.
I love it. Oh, that's great. So are you rocking the Whoop? I think I saw the Whoop on your
Sure am. Yeah.
at the Whoop. Is that what version? Is that 3.0 or 4 or whatever?
Absolutely. Come on now.
Absolutely. You know me.
Yeah. This is 3.0. What do you have?
Oh, I'm doing the Apple Watch. You know, I'm
Oh, I got that on my left wrist.
do you have an Aura ring though at the same time? All three.
I I should. Do
Okay.
I?
I need to intro you to my buddy Antoine. He was my first guest. He's a rad dude. He's in DC, but he's been doing research in like wearables and testing
Oh,
like everything for years and years and years. Like even the
really?
Snapchat spectacles, the Aura Ring, comes very highly recommended from a number of people that I know that have used it really well. Like sleep tracking, very, very good. Doesn't give you the EMF tingles, like some people that have some sensitivity to it or can feel it. I'm thinking about doing it too. But I like the Apple Watch because one reason, for the better part of 20 years, I wanted to just like go running or work out without wires or a device or a
Of
phone or
course.
a Discman back in the day. And being able to pop in like AirPods plus this
Oh
and
yeah.
go running is like finally freedom, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, that was like the thing I had been waiting for 20 years. So thanks, Apple. So
Yeah.
that's, and then the step tracking and everything is rad, and the notifications become a little ridiculous, but whatever.
You know the readiness score, that's what a lot of them are have. I think Fitbit's got it. That's what Whoop's
Hmm.
all about. I feel
Yeah.
like it's only a matter of time before Apple
Yeah.
has a readiness, right? Your body is ready to take on strain or activity, whatever these companies want to call it, it's all the same
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Is it,
But
does it work? What are your thoughts on the readiness thing from your experience?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely accurate. I mean, if I am go out the night before drinking, it's the next day. It's like you should not exercise.
You need
Like,
to
thanks.
recover. Netflix
Yeah,
and chill, man. Like
yeah,
literally
yeah,
chill.
yeah. It's in the it's green, yellow, and red bars. And like if you have a few drinks, or at least now, I'm gonna be 40 soon, and it's like I have a couple drinks, and it's like it's definitely gonna be
Yeah.
red this day.
See you next
Uh,
week. Sorry
yeah.
about your beer.
But I use it now. I use it as my alarm. It vibrates, and so I can give it a
Ah,
range because it tracks my sleep, so it
yeah,
knows, if I hit my sleep goal, wake me up within a certain range. And
right.
I love that. It's more of like supposed to be more natural, but if I have to wake up at a specific time, I can set that. But
Yeah.
I'm liking it, so
Do
it's good.
you do you feel like the sleep and the rest and the recovery thing, do you feel like those devices have made a positive impact on your health? Or is it just kind of like data?
I think it's just I think it's just data. Just knowing is really helpful. I think it's really hard to change human behavior. I think it can in the beginning. It's like, it's
The novelty factor?
yeah, the novelty factor,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. It's like something new. Um, and then that sort of wears off. And
Yeah.
then I personally like to understand the data. Just like I do with my Apple Watch too. I do the same thing. At first, I was comparing them after every single workout.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's like this one's like not 100 it's 100 calories less. I'm like, that's bullshit. I was like, like I want to like edit the calories. On this one, you know. But at the end of the day, it's like generally the same.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I've had a slightly different experience. I think I started it just to track. I mean, after like such a stressful couple of years, the reason I actually bought it was because I
Yeah.
was worried about my heart. I hadn't had any issues,
Oh
but I
wow.
just
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure like that, I had something that could alert me if there was. And so I ended up on my birthday, like when I reset everything, I ended up get like a full battery of like health tests, like everything
Okay.
across the board to see where I was. Luckily, like knock on wood, I'm a pretty healthy dude and everything was good. But that was the catalyst that made me buy the Apple Watch again because I had one in the beginning. Um, and then I
So
found,
it's just knowing.
yeah, it was like I want to get alerted essentially if
Yeah.
there's something
Okay.
that there is an issue. But then it actually started to increase, I paid more attention to it, so I started getting more activity. And then over the last like month or two, 2 months, I've found that I increased my output physically by 50 to 100%.
Wow.
just as a result of me tracking it and then keeping up with the streaks and then just like tracking walks with the dog, going running, lifting and exercising. So it was more of this like gamification, like streaks create boosts kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and so it's definitely been a positive impact. But you got to be careful because the stuff can just like turn into an obsession and you just go overboard. Like, oh,
Yeah.
gotta what like 99, I gotta get to 100. But yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's like whatever.
I really wish it would influence me a little bit more, especially right now. You
Hmm.
know, I sold my place. I just moved. It's like I have a whole new life right now. So it's been a
Mm,
little bit rocky on the workout side of things. And
right.
I just wanted to just like shout at me and be like, Dave, get your ass to the fucking gym.
Do you think that would work for you? For a certain personality type? Would that actually work for you? Or would it be like, go pound sand, get out of here. Like throw it against the wall?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. It'd be like, I know that I have to do something. Just getting motivated again has been, you know,
What,
a struggle, I guess.
what if it just like whispered like, hey Dave, it's 4:30. What are you doing? Get up.
I'd be like, Sean, you're annoying me. Go do something.
Get out of
Go,
my face, dude.
right,
It's like that annoying little brother that like pops his head
right.
into the room. It's like, get out of my room, man. That's amazing. Well, cool, dude. Oh shoot, like we've been going for an hour. I actually have to run to like my next one. This has been rad, dude. Let's stay in touch and then if I
Yeah,
get out, I want to get out to the East Coast. I wonder if I could take a train over or something. I'll figure something out. We
yeah.
should like get
No
together.
worries. If not, we'll just stay in touch on the web, on the
Yeah,
internet and the interwebs.
the internets, yeah. Let me know how Spain goes too.
Yeah,
want to see some pictures and stuff. We're headed
absolutely.
out of town next week, so that should be fun.
All right, good. So you're taking a break too?
Yeah, taking
Good.
taking a week. Gonna
Where are you
just like
going?
reset Walt Disney World.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, little magic, man, pure escape.
Well, you have a fun time there, and we'll definitely stay in touch. This is awesome. Really good to catch up with you, man.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll upload this, be private. Do you let me know if anything you want to like cut out or whatever, and I can just splice it out. And yeah, cool, dude.
Everybody.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend.
Later. See ya. You too.
Ready?
Bye.
Bye.